There are many things in life that I have failed at that I myself wanted to do. So these aren't failures that other people have put on me, but my own values that I have fallen short. Despite that, I'm still able to feel better than others based on my own values. One example is sustainability. I'm proud of this value. Health. Health is wealth. Whenever I interact with people, let's say I'm feeling down. If this person is falling short of a sustainability value, if this person is less healthy than me or just flat out not healthy, suddenly I have something to compare myself against. I have a way to strengthen my own values. And the great thing about having these values is that they're quite universal. So this person will likely care about it. I probably have a higher chest elo than them, but they don't care. But if I'm healthier than them, they probably care. If I'm less pollutant to the world that their children will inherit, they probably care. And if they don't, this is why this is such a perfect system. If they don't care about this, well, that makes them even worse than ignorant. It makes them arrogant, or maybe just straight up a bad person. And anytime you can label someone as a bad person, there's a certain kind of comfort that comes in that. Now, there are many elements that we can go here, but let's just keep it simple. When we have the feeling or the concept of bad, naturally, this will create some kind of imbalance within you. Let me draw another image. Far away from the outside world, this is just me. And in here, this concept of bad also lives. As a quick side note, society also lives here. And when we have bad, it warps the fabric of my own reality. Now, I'm not saying that this is how reality is. I'm not saying that this can be measured. I'm saying if you think like this, it's an additional perspective to see the world. And the more perspectives you have, really the bigger the difference between different perspectives and your ability to switch between them. That will allow you to illuminate. You can check out my previous video about perspectives. This element, this feeling of bad, is warping my internal space. And when my perception lets something into myself, I label that person as arrogant. And that narrative enters me, there's a chance that it will begin to orbit these different bodies that exist within me. And this arrogance feeds in to an existing narrative loop. And over time, these loops aren't just, the odd little bit here and there. They form an entire system, almost as if they form a certain type of personality around the weight, the gravitational pull of some kind of emotional pillar within you. If we were to increase the scale on this, we could go from bad to evil, for example. We could add other narratives onto evil, like cosmic good. But there we go, a balancing act. The mind also likes to balance. And this balancing force also could have its own narratives. So for example, a different narrative, like justice, can form around good. And what's happened here is there's a link between these two opposites. And it's almost like the state has been balanced out. The scale is now much more even within me. And the fact that this distortion of heavy energy here and this distortion of light energy here, the overall system is more at equilibrium. And so there's a kind of level of peace or a level of neutrality that has been brought back to the mind. And from there, we can kind of continue to perceive. If you've ever been very angry or very happy, it's kind of hard to let information in. But once you're at a more neutral state, it's much more easy. So that's an example of that phenomenon fitting into this model. Not explaining it, but simply showing how this model can explain your lived experience and therefore making it a little bit more useful. We're measuring these kinds of systems not on how true they are, but how useful they are at illuminating our own experience. And we don't stay there forever. We don't dogmatize and try and make it as precise as possible. We try and get a nice, communicatable understanding and then let it go. And if it's useful, we come back to it. And if it's not, we let it go. Now here's an interesting phenomenon. I'm failing. I'm sad. I've labeled something as bad. But my badness, this feeling of badness, isn't just bad, it's linked to narratives. And if I felt this way long enough, it's linked to almost an entire identity. This person is inconsiderate. This is more than just a feeling. Due to this balancing of your own state, of your own mind, the badness is linked to good. And of course, we'd much rather get rid of badness than good. One final drawing. Let's say I'm able to mature in life, or I just feel better. And the person that I once labelled as bad, I'm able to distance myself from it. Maybe I'm able to forgive in my heart. Maybe I just don't care anymore. And I realise that holding on to this bad energy isn't good for me. And if I'm solutions oriented, maybe I should be different. If I want happiness, maybe I should be different. But what happened inside, bad, was connected to good. And the good had an entire identity, a world of narratives orbiting it. As certain people become less and less bad, what happens to that counterbalancing force? It's less and less required. As the pain of badness begins to alleviate, so too does the need for the balancing force. But it's the power, it's the weight of good that is sustaining a lot of those narratives that my own ego, my own identity has attached itself to. So what I perceive as me is linked to some of these good narratives. As this underlying force of good starts to disappear, I start to get cracks. The need for these narratives to keep going, that can feed on these feelings and exist within the mind, starts to wear away. But what did I say? My ego, my identity, in part, was tied to this. And so as people start to become less bad, I start to become less like myself. And perhaps this is why you might fall into apathy. What starts with a good intention goes too far and results in no meaning at all, just a world with no feeling. Take care, lieb dich, ciao.